of supercars like this beastie. So on the eve of a new international championship, we look back with Alan Tyndall, Pamela Ballantyne and Gary Gillespie to what happened last season, as the old Dublin maestro Austin McHale proved he had lost none of his pace. Fasten your seatbelts for the story of the 1997 Tarmac Rally Championship, McHale and Pace.
The great Austin McHale is surpassed on the tarmac trail only by Bertie Fisher, Jimmy McRae and Billy Coleman. Between 1983 and 1986, Austin won the title 3 times in 4 years. Now the tarmac master returns in a concerted effort to gain his 4th crown. Young gun Andrew Nesbitt first came into prominence driving an Escort. But when he acquired the X-Works Toyota, things really began to happen, culminating in that historic Donegal win. Following a serious road accident, the Armagh driver is now back in full health and with a full tarmac program. Stephen Murphy, the twice RIAC National Rally Champion, has dipped his toe in the tarmac series for a number of years. But now the Carlo driver is ready for a full tarmac assault with his state-of-the-art Escort Cosworth and new co-driver Mickey Morrissey on the notes. The ever-improving Eamon Boland's Escort is prepared by Malcolm Wilson Motorsport, and he relies on Mickey's son Damien Morrissey to call the notes. The Wexford driver plans to be the first to introduce a full world rally car to the Irish stages later in the season, making the Hertz team even more competitive. The biggest fanfare is coming from the O'Callaghan team. With professional PR and renewed backing from Toyota Ireland and Esso, Liam is now set to break into the establishment. There has never been any doubt about the Kanturk driver's speed, but he desperately needs results. Pete Doughty and Lynn Jenkins come to the tarmac with quite a pedigree as the Ears Motoring News champions. And although they are only describing their first season on the Irish Internationals as exploratory, we have seen the Englishman's pace on the Irish rounds of the English Tarmac Championship. Peter Herson and Ian Porter now entrust the preparation of their Cosworth to Davy Greer Motorsport, and they are hoping for the reliability that has eluded them since going the Group A route. James Cullen's talents are still stymied by a lack of finance, so a concerted attack on this series is unlikely. The 1996 champions Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy decide not to defend their title. But will the lure of a second circuit win and the chances of surpassing Jimmy McRae's all-time record of 18 tarmac wins prove to be too much a temptation for the Ballinamallard driver? Paul Harris hopes to join the big time in 1997 in a newly built Subaru Legacy. The young Donegal driver may have to wait for his home international for his finest hour. The tarmac trail is a torturous one, starting with the Galway International in February. At Easter, it's the 4-day Circuit of Ireland rally, then Killarney in May, Donegal in June, the Ulster in August, and finally in 1997, the Manx International Rally. So the cast for the 1997 championship gathers in the wintry west, and Stephen Murphy and his Escort Cosworth gets us straight into the Statoil Galway International Rally action.
Stephen Murphy on stage 1, a familiar test that borders the mountains southeast of the town. Liam O'Callaghan seems to be the early leader, although nobody's quite sure following a timing error at the end of the first test. But the Canterk driver isn't happy. The engine in the SO Ultron Toyota is just back from Sweden, and it's not behaving to his satisfaction.
We have a turbo boost problem.
Changing it here, are you?
I'm changing the intercooler here now, and I'm hoping that's going to fix it. And we found a crack in a pipe in it. Fingers crossed that's it, because if it isn't, we'll be spending the rest of the day looking for it.
Liam's problems put him out of the rally after 6 stages. And Austin and Andrew's older-shaped Celicas are jointly in the lead after 3 stages. Andrew Nesbitt is running a little late on the road. And that looks like a turbo problem on stage 1. The Donegal winner is in fact complaining of a slipping clutch in the Philip White Tyres Toyota, but appearances can deceive, as Andrew is 10 seconds faster than anyone through stage 3. Following the 3 Toyotas, the 3 Fords. Eamon Boland leads the Cosy trio in his Hertz example, but only by 6 seconds. But it's quite evident that both Eamon and Stephen Murphy are now fully on an international as opposed to a national rally pace. Here's Motoring News champion Pete Doughty is expected to be quick, and he shatters the Tarmac establishment by taking fastest time on the first stage.
3, 2, 1, go! Very slippy left 8, suddenly, right 8, suddenly.
Suddenly, Andrew and George are rocketing ahead of the pack. The Pirelli Chant car is 14 seconds up on McHale after 6 stages.
Suddenly, right side, caution, slippy, left 5, over jump 3, brake early, stop, danger, left 7, over jump 10, 30.
And the Armagh driver will return to Galway with a 24-second lead at the end of the first day. Suddenly, things are looking good. Austin McHale and Brian Murphy, no mean driver in his own right, have had to frustratedly watch the Philip White Tyres car pull away from them as they struggle with a slipping clutch. They hope to change the offending item in the Sunday morning service. Stephen Murphy and Mickey Morrissey are fastest in stage 4, and they've moved ahead of Eamon Boland and Mickey's son Damien into 3rd place. Eamon is certainly trying. A little too hard, maybe. And after the early sensation, Pete is finding that the Irish opposition is as tough as he expected. By the end of the day, he will be in 5th place.
3, 2, 1, go! Right 10.
They say about spectator stages that you can lose rallies on them, not win them. Well, we're on board the leading Toyota, and Andrew and George start day 2 with a 24-second advantage. But when McHale's about, you can never relax. Austin has never been one to let an opportunity go by, and with only about 50 stage miles left in the rally, he needs all the help he can get.
Parts of stage 12 are as straight as a motorway, and the speeds are similar. We're sitting at 128 miles an hour, flat and top, and here comes a warning.
4 and caution, slippy junction, brake early, left 7. Hang on. Okay? Yeah, you okay? Yep.
Conor O'Neill's camera catches the crucial moment of the whole rally. We see poor Nesbitt's demise again from Seamus Murphy's camera. This is Austin McHale at the very next junction. Everyone who gets out of stage 12 in one piece is going to be a lucky man. Running first in the road like Andrew was can be a distinct disadvantage at times.
Well, Stephen, very dramatic start to the day today.
It's very, very slippy, Gary. The stages are just a lot of dirt on them and a lot of slippery patches, you know, where there's shiny tar.
Stage 12 may have been a disaster for many, but for our cameraman, his birthdays came together.
So in the final countdown,
John McCluskey and Mark English are a very proud 5th.
Pete Doughty and Lynn Jenkins are an excellent addition to the series. They had 3 fastest times during the weekend. Watch this space.
And so to the top 3 in bronze, Stephen Murphy and Mickey Morrissey, proving that the national champion is right up to international pace. The times, they are a-changing.
In silver, Eamon Boland and Damien Morrissey. Surely one of the best drives of the Wexford driver's life.
So the King of the West is back. Just as Killarney and the Ulster are official rallies, Galway belongs to Austin. For his thousands of fans, the frustration is over. Austin has some competitive pedals to play with again, and it showed.
The last 2 years have been a little bit lean, you know, and I haven't done a whole lot, but I know the car is competitive now. To be on the same pace as Andy after winning Donegal means the car is good.
Nice to see that McHale smile back again.
Thanks very much.
Well done, Austin and Galway. You had a good result. Usual, you like Galway a lot.
Yeah, we got the 5 wins there, but yeah, it's nice to get another win this year. It was hard looking Andy. He was leading the event when he went out. He found that extra slippy patch.
Yeah.
That was it. He ended up in the field or near enough, but you know, that's as I said.
Were you trying a bit hard, Andrew, or what was the problem?
No, there was some effluent coming out from the farmer's silo, and we obviously weren't pace noting that when we came to the junction, and everything felt under control. But when I got within 100 yards of the junction, the car just took off, as you can see in the film.
Yeah.
Now, Galway is slipping. The stage down around Lochray are slipping.
Yeah.
I think it's something got to do with the tar, Lochray, Athenry, and
some sort of lime actually in the surface there that makes it very slippy when it gets wet.
But I think the opposition is always very good in the first round of the championship. Obviously, there's the
Doughty from England was very good. He put up the quickest time in the first stage.
Pete develops his own car as well, which is probably stands to him. You know, he has it developed to suit himself.
Yeah.
And he's quite a good engineer. In fairness.
Then you have the Bolands with the Malcolm Wilson. Malcolm Wilson always does a good job, and you know they'll be all very competitive.
Is there much difference in your car and the Boland's car?
There would be, Andrew. Mine is like, let's face it, it's 2 years old. A lot of development has been done since. The likes of a 6-speed box, the Brembo brakes, the dampers and uprights have all changed. So, like, I mean, there's a lot of development.
Brembo or Bimbo?
Bimbo brakes or Brembo brakes?
Brembo. They're actually an 8-pot caliper, Austin, and really, in fairness.
That's why I can't
stopping power. Stopping power. You could do the set of those, Andrew. Might stop even though the farmer.
In the historic championship for pre-1969 cars, Designut opens the scoring in Galway with victory over the similar car driven by English visitor Jeff Crabtree. Mervyn Johnston upholds many honours in 3rd place. John Keatley, the multiple historic champion in 1996, is back on the circuit of Ireland. But it crashes out, leaving victory to Crabtree, who repeats his 1996 circuit success. Second eventually goes to the Lisburn driver Sean Tracy in his Lancia, and third to the extraordinary combination of Alan Courtney and his 4-door pushrod Cortina. In Killarney, Designut romps away into the distance to take his 2nd win of the season. And Courtney improves on his circuit performance to take 2nd place for the 2nd time in the Kerry Mountains. Beatty Crawford revives his old 1960s partnership with Adrian Boyd, and they take 3rd place. For John Keatley, Killarney is a disaster. First they run out of petrol, and then Alan Courtney in Donegal, where the Nut Crabtree battle resumes. Desi's English rival has to again take 2nd best to the other yellow Porsche. But both, however, are way out in front by the time they come to the Ulster lanes, with the Stuttgart Steamrollers again flatten the opposition, with Nut leading Crabtree and Keatley home for his 4th win of the year.
We've had a very good season. We worked hard at it. We put a big effort into this rally, and it was one that we really wanted to win the Ulsters. I suppose, our home event, and we tried very hard.
Jimmy McRae and local 911 driver Adrian Kermode try to upset the form book on the Isle of Man. They don't succeed. John Keatley is there, however it's Desi Nutt and Derek Smith who take their 5th win to become the 1997 historic champions, with 15 points in hand over Jeff Crabtree and Liz Jordan. Alan Courtney finishes his season with 3rd place in the championships in the Cortina, but something had to give.
2 right, 4 left, keep her out, all right, okay.
Back on the main Tarmac trail, it's time for round 2, the AA Circuit of Ireland rally, the longest and toughest of them all. And yes, Bertie is back, the lure of that 18th win proving to be too much of a temptation. Hold tight, girls, here comes Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy in the Tarmac Subaru Impreza. Bertie was expected to be favoured, but he wasn't expected to open out almost half a minute's lead after just 4 stages. The Sydney Meek Run Subaru is fastest on every one of the opening tests. Stephen Murphy has been one of the revelations of the year. His time in the national rally scene has been well spent, and there are a few surprised faces in Dungannon when the times are totted up. The Statoil Escort is 4th after 4 stages. The Tarmac Championship leader is in trouble, however. Brake trouble. The Castrol Toyota is not giving the doubler and its co-driver Brian Murphy an easy ride. They're back in 6th place. James Cullen and Ellen Morgan in the Wrangler Escort have been out of rallying since Lurgan Park, so it's a play yourself in time for the Donegal driver. Ooh, he gets dangerously close to the wall there. Andrew Nesbitt is the man of the moment. The Donegal winner and the Galway leader will want to put thoughts of dry stone walls behind him, and the Armagh ace is expected to be right on Fisher's pace in his Pirelli shod Toyota. But the first real test at Foy Lane is a different matter. The conditions are treacherous on the heavily farmed side roads, and they can't say that George Miller doesn't give Andrew plenty of warning.
Treble caution, stop, Mirage, jump 12, suddenly, right 9 at fence. Left, yeah, good.
Suddenly, it's all over. Liam O'Callaghan also desperately needs a finish following his disappointingly early departure in Galway. The Canturk driver, the Esso Ultron Toyota, finishes in the first group of stages in 5th place. Once again, Eamon Boland is in the headlines. The Wexford driver has the Hertz Escort up to 2nd. Pete Doughty in the DPE Engineering Escort, however, drops some time when the master switch drops out after a heavy landing.
There's been a lot of talk about this extremely tight hairpin on stage 5. What's all the fuss about, thinks Fisher, as he executes a classic handbrake turn. The Balnamallard driver posts another fastest time. Is this domination or what?
And although Bertie eases off a little bit in the Tarmac Subaru on the last 2 stages of the day, he has left a trail that isn't even warm when the others arrive. Stephen Murphy has moved ahead of Eamon Boland by stage 9.
We were very happy that we were there or thereabouts on a good few stages with Bertie. He seems to have serious power in the car, but we were very pleased that we're lying 2nd overnight tonight, so we're looking forward to tomorrow.
At last, James Cullen and Ellen Morgan are into the fastest times, equaling Austin for the quickest run through stage 9. Austin McHale on the fast mountain stages in his own backyard will be a very different prospect in day 2.
And so it's into the mountains. As expected, this is McHale country. But Austin is only 1 second faster than Bertie over the gap. And despite attacking driving like this on Akavana, Bertie gets that second back on the classic Wicklow test.
3, 2, 1, go!
Liam makes a big mistake right at the start of the gap.
Into right 6 long, tightens. Left max to right 5.
There's a vibration in the car, but the pair must forget about that and hope that everything hangs together until the end of the stage. The Fisher domination has continued throughout the Dunlop stages. Bertie has been fastest on 6 of the 9 Saturday tests, and he returns to Tala with a 2.5-minute advantage. But there have been big changes behind him. James Cullen has jumped from 4th to 2nd in the Yorkie Escort, gaining himself AA Driver of the Day. Stephen Murphy slipped from 2nd to 3rd when a rear suspension bolt snapped on the Statoil Escort on the 2nd run over Akavana. Austin McHale moves from 6th to 2nd during the day. And Liam O'Callaghan has been lucky to get away so lightly with that Sally Gap mistake. There's now a 3.5-minute gap between 6th and 7th, Pete Doughty.
Liam O'Callaghan goes after and wins the special award for the 3 Hamel stages. And boy does David work hard in the passenger seat.
And crest to right 7 long, 50. Right 3 and right 4. And left 2 into dead right 6, circle left 7.
Up front, Bertie Fisher and Rory Kennedy in the Tarmac Subaru have nothing to report other than their total domination of the event.
There's one big change during the 3 night stages. In the darkness, Austin McHale slips ahead of the Wrangler's Escort into 2nd place. That battle will be resumed in the morning. The final day was really a high-speed tour. Stephen Murphy and Mickey Morrissey bring the Statoil Escort home in 5th place. They discovered suspension fault in time on the Liam O'Callaghan David Hogan Toyota to rescue 4th place. James Cullen and Ellen Morgan bring the Wrangler Escort home in 3rd. Austin McHale and Brian Murphy finally claim 2nd after a magnificent recovery drive from 6th to 2nd. They also increased their lead in the Tarmac Championship. And Bertie Fisher, navigated by Rory Kennedy, goes into the history books to become the greatest all-time Tarmac Championship rallyman, with 18 wins to his credit since the Ulster Rally in 1981.
Bertie, absolutely fabulous. You've broken all the records. 18 wins. Nobody's ever done that on Tarmac before here in Ireland.
Yeah, Plymouth, obviously we've had a superb weekend. You know, the rally's been really good. It's been very tough. It's been, you know, starting out on Friday, I don't think I was really that confident, but you know, we got off to a very good start, and I think we got a bit of a lead on the boys whenever they weren't really waiting for it, you know, and obviously it's worked out very well, and the car has been absolutely brilliant, just routine servicing all the way through. So you know, 18 wins, it's and to do it at this event, it's probably makes it even the better, you know.
Circuit was very competitive this year.
Absolutely, Bertie came out with all guns blazing, didn't he, really?
Yeah, he came out, and I think that most was probably asleep for the first day. We let him away. I don't mean that in disrespectful, but when Bertie gets away, it's very hard to catch, as we all know. And James was there as well. So I think overall the entry was good.
Yeah. Excellent, pretty well organised too. Bridget did a fantastic job.
That's the thing, yeah, she did an excellent job. But I found her against Bertie in the north. He certainly had the edge.
But you're always competitive on the northern stages as well, but unfortunately this year you misread a pace note or misjudged a jump or whatever it was.
Yeah, the jump just caught me out. I was on the slicks and slid off. Quite a simple exit.
There's a couple of bumps actually into that corner, Andrew, and it's very tight,
yeah.
And it's very slippy.
Very dangerous, in fact. Yeah. You know, you cannot take them at 100 miles an hour. Proved that.
I think that's overall. I would think that 90% of the stages were excellent.
Yeah. Well, I found that the attitude this year was much better as well. It was more driver friendly. Yeah, which is a very big help.
Down to the right, shrouded in nature's cloak, is one of the most spectacular views in Europe. Straight ahead on Mall's Gap is a living hell for Mark and Rory Doyle in the NIIB Formula 2 Escort. Mud, rain, snow and even ice are all part of the challenge of rallying, but fog is frightening. This is the Gleneagle Rally of the Lakes, organised by the Killarney and District Motor Club, and this one really sorts out the men from the boys.
2 days rallying over 17 special stages lies ahead for the 120-odd crews. The first stage is the most famous of them all, Mall's Gap.
Okay, we're ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! 200!
There'll be no records today, as the mud crews have reported rain and, worse still, fog at the top of the mountain. Tyre choice is critical. Liam has chosen a hard compound Pirelli, and it's not the right choice. Now for the dreaded fog that they've been warned about. Liam will be beaten over the gap by 14 seconds, but he claws back 8 seconds and an incredible further 11 seconds over the fog-bound Mulliganish test to lead by 16 seconds at the first service halt in Mill Street. There are soft compound Pirellis on the Castrol Toyota, and the go-away winner, Austin McHale, and circuit runner-up, of course, is setting the early pace as he crackles his way to the tune of the anti-lag system up this famous climb. Hatter Herson in the Eurocable's Escort is in flying form. With Ian Porter on the notes, the Warren Point driver is piercing his way through the fog. Third fastest over the gap and Fury, and he'll set second fastest time on Mulliganish. Stephen Murphy is a comparative gap novice, and he has the embarrassment of being caught by McHale at the top of the mountain. Mind you, those hard Pirellis aren't helping. Novice or not, Pete Doughty is a bit brave in the murk. The British National Rally champion will sail through Mulliganish in third quickest time, no doubt guided by the foghorn. But the magnificent WRC Hertz Escort is not performing up to expectations. Eamon's car looks and sounds magnificent, but unfortunately it's not producing the power that it should. And the Malcolm Wilson mechanics are putting tape over everything to try to get the engine up to working temperature. Now for the real show. The legendary Connie Smith, never without spectacle and never without his supporters. He never disappoints. Did someone tell Kieran O'Neill there was a camera about? Enjoy this virtuoso performance, because Kieran seldom gets past the first act these days, and Killarney will be no exception.
I do not believe this!
Back out on the stages, the big story is the demise of the Boland's World Rally Championship car. Just 2 miles into Mall's Gap, the car started to misfire, and despite the furious efforts of the Malcolm Wilson mechanics, there is no improvement. They have now been dropping 2 seconds a mile, so they decide eventually to withdraw.
There's no change to the top 5 at the end of the first day. Liam continues to pull ahead to have over a minute's advantage over his Toyota rival.
Morning, noon or night time, you are always guaranteed an audience on the most famous corner in Ireland.
This is danger time for O'Callaghan. He lost the lead to Bertie Fisher in the early morning mountains 12 months ago. That was due to a wrong tyre choice. He won't want to do that again. This year, he only concedes 11 seconds. Austin knows he must claw back time if there's to be any hope of victory. With rivers of rain in places, it's a treacherous game. Hatter Herson continues to show his fabulous form. The Tipperary water car is second fastest on Mall's Gap. In fact, he's fractionally faster than Liam on both tests. Paul Harris is in a secure 6th, loving every mile in his new mount.
5 stages to go and over a minute ahead. Things are really looking good for the SO Ultron car. But this is a cruel sport. As we wait in Killarney for the rally leader, his team manager is taking a call that he doesn't want to hear. Liam's had a puncture and the faces tell it all. Once again, victory will elude the brilliant Kentuck driver. It's a bitter, bitter pill to swallow. Suspension damage did in fact cause the Toyota's immediate retirement, But the drama wasn't over yet. Stephen Murphy really has the bit between his teeth. The Statoil car has set a string of faster stage times to move ahead of Harrison up to second place. Sadly, on the second run through Cara Lake, he will park the Escort in a ditch. Paul Harris and Don Wilmot are bursting with pride in fourth place and Class 8 winners.
Pete Doughty and Lynn Jenkins take Class 13, third overall, and move into second place in the Tarmac Championship.
For Padder Herson and Ian Porter, their days in the Escort wilderness seem to be over. The Eurocables car has been at the sharp end of the stage times all weekend, and second place is a very well-deserved finish.
Austin McHale and Brian Murphy win the 1997 Gleneagle Rally of the Lakes by 1 minute and 10 seconds. This puts the pair way out in front with a 33-point lead in the Tarmac Championship.
Well, here, tell me all about Killarney. It must have been a great event. I'm sorry I didn't make it down there. I believe it was very fast.
Yeah,
conditions were good.
It was typical Killarney stages. Unfortunately, I hadn't done it so many times, and I found that Moll's Gap was my biggest problem. I dropped 20 seconds to Austin actually going up Moll's Gap.
Padder Herson seemed to go up there very quickly this year.
Yeah, he was absolutely flying. Fair play to him. He did an excellent job on Moll's Gap anyway.
Moll's Gap is one of the classic stages in Irish rallying, and it's as simple as that.
Bertie seems to know it very well from years.
Moll's Gap was a lot of experience, and I said that to Stephen. We caught Stephen at the top of Moll's Gap this year.
I remember after you passing me actually, Austin, you had a major moment. I could see you heading towards big stones there at one stage.
Yeah, we were lucky, and I think it was touch wood saying that we have had a lucky year this year in the previous two events, but yes, we were lucky.
Yeah.
But the pace is very quick, Andy. And obviously you weren't down there, you didn't get down there.
Sorry I didn't make it, yeah.
You know, Liam O'Callaghan was going very well. We all know it's his local area, he'd probably know the stages very well, but that's acceptable. But I think...
What happened, Liam, there?
He hit a rock, burst a wheel.
Right, was he going well at the time?
Yeah, he was ahead of us at the time by, I think it was maybe 20 seconds or something like that. And yeah, he went well, you know, we admire him, he definitely was...
There's a particular spot actually where he hit. You could see the stones for a good bit away, and these stones were sticking out, and Liam just slipped one, got a puncture. And that really
finished his rally, really.
It did, yeah.
But you know yourself, you get away 9 times out of 10, you get away with cutting corners. Justin Farson, one of them times, he was just cut it and didn't get away with it.
On Tony Kearns' Group N debut in Galway, he fights hard for the showroom lead, but eventually concedes defeat to Donald Bones, who brings an Escort Cosworth back into the winning circle. London domiciled Irishman Campbell Adams joins in on the Circuit of Ireland, but Kearns and Bones finish just 1 place apart, 8th and 9th overall, with Adams 3rd in the showroom category. In Killarney, Campbell Adams is sensational. Despite being delayed by a broken gearbox on the first day, Campbell powers the Davy Greer Motorsport Subaru past the similar car of his rival Kearns to take 5th place overall and the Group N win. Bones stayed in touch in 3rd place to keep his championship hopes alive. Adams becomes overconfident in Donegal, crashing not once,